along with Kel DeGraff and Suleiman Diakite before the game, and he starts it by winning the toss, and the Highlanders going on offense first, wearing that home white ensemble.
And UNH played a Bill Harry and patented man-to-man defense, physical style. He's been coaching that way for over 30 years in his 31st season as a coach, 17 right here at UNH.
Diakite, the one-hander, so he continues this late season surge. Good start for number 21, one of those seniors honored earlier tonight. He had hit about rock bottom, Coach, prior 3 games before the last 2, as that one is no good, and Diakite, the rebound. He had played 4 games and averaged just 4.3 minutes before his last 2 games. He went for 12 points and 13 points respectively, playing in 75 of a possible 80 minutes. He's back, and they need number 21, the senior Suleiman Diakite.
Well, being healthy, so many teams this year even being affected by the COVID break or even individually, and now trying to get healthy and get ready for conference tournament play, March time.
UNH also very short, their rotation down to basically 9 guys. They have a couple of guys that are no longer on the team. They've had some injuries. Here's Guadarrama, kicks out, gets an open look for Johnson, off the mark. Johnson has been a very high-flying player as of late. In fact, 18 points in the game against Albany, a season high back on January 24th. Just came up empty there. Good look by O'Hearn down low. Here's Coleman, short on the reverse, and then off of Coleman. Well, he got off to a great start in the loss at Maine. Had 20 points at half, finished with 24. And there's a guy you're familiar with in his 6th year here at NJIT, Brian Kennedy.
Oh yeah, BK and I were backcourt mates at Monmouth. Back then, Monmouth College, now Monmouth University. That's how old we both are.
And I grew up in Monmouth County, and boy, that whole university, the scope of it has changed as it has grown so much over the years. Highlanders the early lead on the Diakite one-hander. This is a Wildcat team that has lost back-to-back games coming in. Leading the Highlanders by a game in the standings. Here's Johnson, who gets around Fawn, puts it in.
Yeah, and credit the assist with Guadarrama. He had this open shot, but lost the ball. Able to recover nicely, getting the lane and a fancy dish. Nice bounce pass.
Johnson, a redshirt sophomore, America East Rookie of the Year last season. So they have a guy that is a building block with a couple of these seniors we've talked about in Guadarrama and Martinez. Now Gray, bullseye! Makai Gray, a little anatomy there for the sophomore, and the Highlanders right back up.
What a lefty. It just seems like all lefties have great touch. Matt, and he joins one, nothing but nylon from deep downtown Newark.
He's one of the guys, Dave, that has benefited from the absences of the 2 guards in Butler and Lee. And over his 6 starts, he's averaged 8 points a game, which is a couple more than he would average coming off the bench.
Picking up more extended minutes and hit shots like that, build confidence, and talk about hitting threes. And Martinez that hits one as well.
First teamer a year ago. He was a preseason all-conference selection this season, and he has not disappointed. 6th in the league, averaging 15.3 per night. And his shooting percentages are very good. We saw him stroke it from 3 to tie the game a moment ago. Diakite way out from the basket, makes the move on Matos, goes up and picks up contact. And Suleiman Diakite has been so much more confident down the stretch. And you mentioned the experience earlier of this man in Bill Harry, a 63-year-old whose life has been coaching basketball.
As I mentioned, 17 years here at UNH. He's the longest tenured coach in the America East, but this is his 31st season at the helm of being a head coach. Had those great teams down at Drexel, won a game in the NCAA tournament. He's been a staple in the America East Conference at UNH.
Diakite makes his first free throw, has been 17 of 40, not a good percentage, but again, starting to come on in all facets of the game and hit a couple of big free throws up at Maine, despite the late loss to the Black Bears on Sunday. And there, he hits both. Yeah, in between Drexel and New Hampshire, had a 6-year stint at East Carolina University. He's closing in on 500 career wins and very esteemed career.
And NJIT picked up a little three-quarter court, full-court press after the free throws. UNH has no problems with that. And it seemed like NJIT was a little discombobulated on defense after they got back after the pressure.
The Bronx native Nick Johnson coming kind of close to home, you'd say. Obviously a lot closer than playing up in New Hampshire. Here's Faw, guarded by Guadarrama. Guadarrama does a nice job staying with them. The force is short, tough shot. Up for the rebound is Chiqueno. And the redshirt sophomore by way of Montreal goes to the rack, a wild shot, it's down. Blondeau, Chiqueno with a beautiful finish.
Oh, what a nice finish, took it right to Diakite. And able to get kind of around him, and terrific finish.
That gives New Hampshire the lead. Hey, when they played the last time, which was again a 5-point game, that game was back and forth early on. First of all, here's Coleman in the lane, working hard, tough shot, well contested, and the rebound comes down to Martinez. That game was a 60-55 win. It was back and forth all first half, but the Highlanders got a shot from the freshman Keyshawn Mason with 1:20 to go in the first half to take a 25-24 lead, and they led the rest of the way, though most of the game was played within 1 or 2 possessions. Guadarrama did not play in that game, and that certainly helped the Highlanders and their chances. Makes his first field goal tonight.
We talked about Guadarrama in the open. He's going to have the ball in his hands an awful lot. And you can see why.
Gray, very athletic. Nice finish. Kai Gray off to a cool start. He's got 5.
The lefty able to get into the lane on the left side. Finish nicely.
Chiqueno being hassled, try to trap him, gets it away to Guadarrama, bullseye! So Nick Guadarrama, who came in a little struggling by his high standards, only 7.8 points per game in his last 4, shooting it at 31%. But you know, good shooters get hot quickly, and he's due for a good one.
And you mentioned he didn't play last time against NJIT, so this is the first time they're getting to see him.
Ball has his pass knocked away by Martinez, who saves a great athletic play by the senior, Jaden Martinez. One of the 1,000-point scorers, he and Guadarrama. Guadarrama became the 34th, and then not long after, this man, Martinez, became the 35th to cross 1,000 in Wildcats Navy Blue, and he's got his second field goal today. Little run, as right now, 5-0 run for the Wildcats have given them their largest lead at 7.
Right now they're knocking all their shots down, 7 for 9 from the floor. O'Hearn comes up a little strong off the glass.
And the Highlanders have taken some tough shots, some highly contested shots. That short by Martinez, Diakite back for the rebound. They have really had to work just to get the ball up against what has been a tenacious Wildcats defense early on. O'Hearn, no. Guadarrama a rebound. Have not yet had the first media stoppage as we're back and forth in Newark. And a turnover. Coleman comes away with it. Without numbers. Looks like he'll be complacent to hold as he gets it back to O'Hearn, who's been filling in as point guard in the absence of Butler and Lee. And O'Hearn leads the American East in minutes played. Diakite, yes! So Suleiman Diakite, red hot. He's got a game high 6.
Great touch around the rim there, a little jump hook. Very patient on the offensive end there.
Yeah, when he was in his struggle period this year, right, didn't look confident, so he was forcing things, falling away from the basket. Now he's been patient, like you say, and he uses his strength and his brawn. Able to get some, again, these teams have got to win down the stretch here because a couple of wins can really vault them in what has been a really tightly compacted American East outside of Vermont. And here's Mason into the game, the freshman. We talked about his field goal up at UNH. Gray working hard, a little too hard off the window, and the rebound comes down to Nick Johnson. An 1,100-point scorer at All Hallows career. Across the river in Bronx. That's Marco Foster has checked into the game wearing number 22, and a beautiful look down low. Foster made it happen, and Johnson able to collect the 2.
Well, just great ball movement for UNH. They're hitting shots, moving the ball, being able to get to the basket. Interior passing, 8 for 11 from the floor so far. And game.
You'll appreciate this. You go back to the early 90s, you know, the era of bad boy basketball, you know, the Pistons, Cavs, Knicks, physical play. Well, the Highlanders have to play that way to win, and we'll talk about this as the night goes on. They have the #1 field goal defense and 3-point field goal defense in the America East, but they also don't score a whole lot comparatively. Here's a 3-ball. That one's off the mark. DeGraff fighting for the rebound. It's off of Martinez. The last 13 games they've played in, Dave, since the 77-72 win at UMass Lowell on January 6th, they have not yet scored 70 points since then. 59.7 points per game in that 13-game span. So they can win, but they do it with that kind of gritty, hard-nosed, defensive-oriented, low-scoring variety, and they can't have UNH shooting it at 67% if they want to win this game.
Yeah, they're going to have to pick it up on the defensive end tonight, as you mentioned. UNH and Fuego, and then Coach Kennedy mixed up the defense out of that timeout, played a little 1-3-1, had to miss 3, and offensively get the foul down low. So we'll set up a baseline out of bounds play.
Marco Foster picks up the foul, just the second for UNH. There's only been 3 this game. It's been played at a relatively fast pace. So DeGraff stays out there with Diakite, double big man lineup, and Coleman called for an offensive foul, using his elbow to try to swim his way around the defense.
That's the second straight turnover for NJIT with a foul. Last time a moving screen, that time they get Coleman with an offensive foul. Kind of got his arm hooked right there, as you see it, official all over it.
Good job on defense. Nick Johnson able to draw that. Nick Johnson's been very active. In fact, his 6 points right now leads UNH and is tied for the game high with Suleiman Diakite. Martinez gonna put it up over to Graff, and it's no good. Coleman the rebound. Martinez came in shooting it at 43% from downtown. Here's Coleman bullying his way all the way coast to coast, couldn't get it to go. That's a shot that you never expect Coleman to miss. High percentage in the paint, now picks up another foul. That'll be his second foul. Or will it be on O'Hearn beforehand? It'll be on O'Hearn. Yeah, it's on O'Hearn for a whole beforehand. But either way, that's the second on O'Hearn. And because he's filling in at point guard, he's kind of the third man on that pecking order. They can ill afford for O'Hearn, who again leads the America East in minutes per game. They can ill afford to have him on the bench.
Yeah, he's really the main point guard for Coach Kennedy. So 2 fouls on him. He's going to need to use his veteran leadership and understand and stay away from that third foul. Still got over 10 minutes left in the first half.
75% shooter from the line is Chiqueno, who missed the first. He was an all-rookie selection a year ago, had 3 Rookie of the Year awards, delved out, misses both, and Diakite, coming off his first double-double of the year, has 6 points and 3 rebounds in just 8 minutes. Starters back in for the Highlanders. Here's Coleman, shot partially blocked. Terrific defense, but it's going to be Highlander ball because it was blocked, but Nick Johnson has then really been, both sides of the court has been all over the place. He has been very active early on for Bill Herrian.
Yeah, he got his hand on that jump shot. Coleman was looking for a foul. It looked like Johnson got all ball, and NJIT only with 10 seconds down on the shot clock.
Scoreless in nearly 3 minutes, no more. Coleman banks it off the window and in. First field goal for Coleman.
An excellent pass inside by Fall. And that was a design based on out of bounds play. Just took a little time to develop. Coleman with a nice cut.
Matos checked back into the game. Working against Diakite, goes up and under, but no good. Coleman, the rebound, and Miles Coleman has pulled down back-to-back boards. He's got 2 for the game. Thought O'Hearn would keep going, but a great job by Dillon to save it. That ball looked like it was destined for out of bounds. Coleman from deep, no good, and Guadarrama a rebound. Here come the Wildcats. Playing with a lot of tempo, a lot of pace early on are the men clad in blue. Chiqueno up and in, a floater in the lane for Blondeau. Chiqueno, a Montreal native and a redshirt sophomore.
Well, off the ball screen, Fall was unsure whether he was going to hedge or switch. Got mismatched there, and Chiqueno made him pay.
Gray on the move, off the window, missed that shot earlier, just a bit too strong, does it again, nice move. But here's Chiquinho coming down with the ball. Matos able to recoup. A 3-ball, Foster short. Foster 7th in the league, averaging 2 3-point field goals per game, and a good open look there. Averages 41.3% from deep, so a very efficient 3-point shooter. Faw puts it up, no good, and the Highlanders have gone ice cold, 1 for their last 7. And scoreless in their last 2 minutes now after a 3-minute drought was snapped earlier by Coleman. Mismatch here, Gray picking up Guadarrama. Diakite comes and helps, so on the move, Matos, terrific communication and a beautiful finish on a 2-man game there, reading each other's minds beautifully.
Great vision by Guadarrama. We talked about him in the open. He's a tough guy to double. He has such great vision and such an excellent passer.
O'Hearn in traffic, nothing easy for the Highlanders. A lot of individual takes, not many looks off the pass. It's been a consistent problem, and a miss there. Assist already 4-1 in favor of the Wildcats. They set up a long ranger, that's no good.
By initiate the offense this possession.
Maybe something to spark it. It's been a stagnant offense here tonight. Haven't had a whole lot of good looks, and you got to credit the defense of New Hampshire for that. They have been good on closeouts. They have double-teamed effectively, trapped a bit. Now a reach, a little too aggressive this time by Chiquinho. That'll be his first foul, team's 4th.
The Highlanders will set up another baseline out of bounds play. Coach Kennedy calling out the play here. Last time, kind of got the ball in and then run a shuffle cut off the baseline.
Ball can't get it to go. Highlanders 5 of 19 shooting. Foster adjusts and fires, knocks it down. Marco Foster, the sophomore from Chicago, great outside shooter, has his first field goal of the game tonight.
Yeah, and credit the penetration and kick by Chiquinho. He drew the help from Gray. Foster did the rest.
Lead all of a sudden in double figures at 12, first time it's been there. Gray thought about the drive, nothing doing. A lot of dribbling in the offense that has been kind of disjointed with the loss of the 2 playmakers. Coleman fires up a wild shot, it's no good. And you look at the way the ball has been worked around the perimeter by New Hampshire, and the way it's kind of been stagnant for the Highlanders, and you can see why the scoring and field goal percentages have kind of favored the road team so far.
Well, we're just taking a look there at Coach Harry, and he's coaching every possession, especially on that defensive end when the team's right in front of him. It's really helping them through that, and they're working through screens, and it made it tough for NJIT to get into some sort of rhythm offensively.
The freshman Ayal Nankin has checked in, Israel native. Here's a 3-ball again by Foster, this time no good. Now 1 for 3 for Foster from downtown. O'Hearn accelerating, adjusting, can't get it to go. Chiquinho has the rebound, was off and running, trying to get around Gray, and Gray does a nice job standing his ground. Faw nearly had an interception there. Up top, Guadarrama had it poked away by Diakite. Shot clock down to 8. Chiquinho, tough shot, gets it to go, falling down, angling to the ground, somehow comes away with a field goal. Acrobatic finish, he's got 6 now, tied for the team lead.
Just a tough take, and able to turn the corner just enough, losing his balance on the ground and knocks it in off the glass.
Nankin on the move and lost the handle on it going up to the basket. And now 5-on-4 come away the Wildcats. What a feed by Martinez and the finish there. Johnson able to make it happen, but boy, the passing has been splendid for the Wildcats here tonight. And have not scored in 5 minutes and 15 seconds. And have had 2 baskets in the last 8, or 2 points in the last 8 minutes. Not even 2 baskets, 2 points. That was on the Coleman banker. Diakite, the one-hander, goes. And he's one thing that has been steady tonight, as he is up to 8 points to go along with 5 rebounds.
Yeah, Coach Kennedy called that timeout, and he knew he had to get the ball into Diakite. They worked to spread the offense and deliver down low, and Diakite delivers for the Highlanders.
Foster. Guadarrama gets a vivid closeout. Decided to pull up. I thought maybe there with the big man pulled out, you'd see him accelerate to the basket. Shot clock to 4. Chiquendo with a beautiful Euro step through the lane, able to get points numbers 7-8. Terrific start here for Blondeau. Chiqueno, the Montreal native.
Well, the Montreal native has had some nifty moves the last 2 times down.
Here is Nankin. Bullseye! Nankin! That is his first collegiate 3-point field goal.
At a time when the Highlanders really need it, they've been struggling to score. Diakite had the basket inside. Now they got to get some stops on the defensive end. UNH has cooled off a little bit. They're still shooting a blazing 60% from the floor in the evening.
Tough shot for Foster. It is rejected by Diakite, and the Highlanders eventually come away with the carom. O'Hearn through the lane, tries the shot off the window, somehow gets it to go. An acrobatic move for Dylan O'Hearn.
Oh, what a nice take by O'Hearn. He's able to get all the way in against Guadarrama. Nice finish off the glass, and now the Highlanders will fall back into a 2-3 zone.
5 straight points for NJIT to cut it to 11. Johnson to the corner, a look for Foster, no good. O'Hearn the rebound. Now the Highlanders a chance maybe to carve into this deficit even more before the half. Down by 16 at the apex. There's O'Hearn, hasn't shot a whole lot from downtown, actually hasn't attempted a 3-ball yet today. Faw fakes it, drives in, kicks it to Diakite, but look at the defense by Martinez. Diakite no, Faw no. So a couple of opportunities before Martinez clutches the rebound. And he's been a hot shooter, Martinez. Hasn't really had a whole lot of opportunities to score yet, but comes in averaging 19 points over his last 5 games. Guadarrama, well off the mark. If you told me the Highlanders would be down 11 and you'd only have 10 combined between Martinez and Guadarrama, you might not have believed me.
Well, since Coach Kennedy called that timeout, Highlanders on a 5-0 run.
8-0 run as their fall 3-ball gives the Highlanders single digits now in the deficit department.
Well, you gotta like the way the Highlanders have answered to Coach Kennedy's called timeout. He jumped on them. Need to pick up the intensities, mixing up the defense. Playing some man. Now back to a 2-3 zone again.
Kick ball, but a good job by Gray, because if he doesn't stop it, you've got a wide open, the native of Mali, that perhaps he's going to come away with back-to-back double-doubles if he keeps up at this rate.
Well, senior night always a special night too. Not your last time putting on the home jersey unless you're fortunate enough to get a home playoff game.
O'Hearn just wrenches it away, and they're going to call it tied up, held ball, and it's going to stay with the Wildcats, but the Highlanders did a great job there converging on the high post. It was O'Hearn who pulled it away.
Take another look at this and watch O'Hearn being very aggressive. Gets his hand on the ball right there, able to stay with it. Only 5 seconds left on the shot clock for UNH.
Chiqueno out to Lester, bullseye! And that stops an 8-0 Highlander run. First field goal and first shot attempt here for the grad student, Chris Lester.
Oh, big 3 for UNH. Highlanders, as you mentioned, were on an 8-0 run, took that 16-point deficit, cut in half.
Ball tried to answer, couldn't follow his miss. Lester, who's playing in his 100th career NCAA game, all as a Wildcat, which is some rare offense. You don't see a lot of that penetration, the kicking, some of the things that we have seen UNH, probably 4 or 5 buckets that were uncontested because of a great pass and a good cut.
And they've had great ball movement on the offensive side, and on the defensive side, they've done a good job of kind of disrupting NJIT a little bit, as you mentioned. The Highlanders have been going on a little bit more one-on-one than they would like and haven't been able to get the assist going.
Chiqueno, a rainmaker, and so 6 straight points after the Highlanders had 6 rebounds, so could be on the way for back-to-back double-doubles. More importantly, the Highlanders need to do some work down 14 here as the second half begins.
Yeah, and a little mishap with the shot clock. 5 seconds went off already, only 1 on the shot clock. So they got to fix that. And they adjust. There's now 25 on the shot clock, and Highlanders and O'Hearn will reset.
And a foul away from the ball hole. That was Nick Johnson, I believe. Yeah, Johnson holding Coleman. Coleman's had some games where when you think it's not going to be his night, maybe a couple of points like he has tonight, or sometimes there's been games he's had 0 in the first half and then had very big second halves, including a 20-point second half performance in a win a couple weeks back. So keep an eye on number 5, Coleman. They've done a great job on him so far. Here he gets a screen from Diakite, bullies his way, but into too much traffic, and a great defensive stand by the Wildcats.
Well, he lost the ball on the way up. That's the second time that's happened this evening. Highlanders able to force a turnover right back, and here they come running. You mentioned Coleman being able to get going in the second half. The Highlanders could definitely use that this evening.
Coleman there goes off the baseline, wanted contact too, but either way, the Highlanders will take the field goal.
Right on cue. You talk about Coleman and his ability to get to the basket at 6'5". He's a tough guard. He can step out and hit threes, get in the lane, use his body, use his size. He was looking for a foul call there as well.
Faw now a rebound. And the Highlanders maybe trying to take some advantage here with the Wildcats, missing a couple of shots, a couple of empty possessions in the second half. Gray for 3, hit earlier, hits again! Makai Gray, another terrific performance so far. He's got 8, tied for the team high.
The Highlanders, after that 3, trying to pick up a little 3/4 court pressure and fall back to the zone. Coleman trying to get going, but Gray also now with 8 points, a couple threes.
And they trap, and Diakite for the second consecutive time able to help create a turnover. So Diakite, 2 steals, a block to go along with his 8.6 rebounds. Another great all-around performance for the senior on senior night. Highlanders trying to get O'Hearn into the action, ran out of real estate quickly and had to get out of there. Matos on Diakite, and Suleiman now in double figures. Boy, has he had a great night.
Great patience by O'Hearn down low, coming up hobbling a little bit, but able to find.
Right now is in 10th place in the America East. They would be in the thick of things, and boy, tonight's game could be, one that could propel them to the upper half in theory, or at least a chance at a home game. But obviously they've dug themselves a hole, but a little momentum before the AE tournament would be huge for this Highlander team. And every time the Highlanders have seemingly gone on a run, UNH has had an answer, this time Guadarrama.
Yeah, and it seems like every time they do need a basket, it's either been Chiquendo or Guadarrama. Ball tends to go through him on the offensive end, especially when UNH needs a basket.
Dylan O'Hearn is out right now. Keep an eye on that for the Highlanders as Diakite gets another rebound, this time on the offensive end. He wants to work against Guadarrama, throws it up but short. And the rebound comes away to UNH. Ahead to Jaden Martinez, bullseye! The Highlanders started the half on a 7-0 run. Now the Wildcats have the last 6 points.
Well, the Highlanders, every time they seem to make a run, they cut it to 8 in the first half, and UNH finished the half with 2 threes. That time they cut it to 7. UNH hits 2 threes, and there they come a-running.
2-on-1, Martinez, a one-handed flush, a timeout ending into this game over the last 2. He was 1 for 5 tonight, but his role has shifted. His need, or the team's need of him, is much different, and he's kind of taken one for the team by serving as that point guard, and he normally plays close to 40 minutes. He is out being looked at by Matt Kosh, the talented athletic trainer here for NJIT. Faw, working hard to get a basket, draws the contact from Jaden Martinez.
Coach Kennedy had been working that official for a while since the last timeout, and he's going to end up picking up a technical foul. They come out and ran their spread offense. Fall's able to get to the basket, draw a foul, so he'll shoot the technicals first.
Technical foul on the ball on the coach of NJIT. On the line for the Wildcats, number 3, Nick Guadarrama.
Guadarrama is a 71% free throw shooter, and with that, he now has 9 points tonight. He's in double figures with 10.
Guadarrama gets a couple air fives. He knocks those 2 threes down, and Coach Kennedy, he was very unhappy with the missed foul call. That led to that little run for UNH. It was a single-digit game at the time. Now Fall will shoot the foul shots. We'll go live.
Fall has an answer. 4th point tonight for Matt Fall out of King of Prussia, Pennsylvania. Philly suburbs. Went to Upper Marion. 1 of 2 before elevating. Nick Johnson gets the rebound. Suamandiakite tried to come away with it. Fall on the floor, saves it to Coleman. Highlanders don't have numbers, so Gray will hold up. Again, Noah O'Hearn, here's Fall fighting for positioning with Jaden Martinez into the lane, was stripped. As it looked like Marco Foster on the weak side help was able to dislodge the basketball, and Fall is very upset.
Yeah, that was a frustration foul there. He got in the lane. He thought he might have got fouled. Sounded like a lot of leather. He ended up getting a frustration foul after that. It's only his first on the night, and only the team's 2nd foul. We've only played 4.5 minutes here in the 2nd half, and NJIT went on a quick run early on to cut the lead to 7, and then it's been all UNH since.
And a 3-point bomb. Marco Foster, his 2nd from downtown, and the lead is 19 points, just like that. 13-3 run after that 3 ball by Foster. Gray, slicing and dicing, is able to get to the free throw line with contact.
Well, nice take by the lefty. He's had a couple times he's finished from the left side. He's hit 2 threes as well. He's got a chance to hit double digits with these free throws. You mentioned the sophomore getting a lot of minutes with the injuries. He's played some games, been at 40 minutes.
Big shot for Makai Gray, who's now got double figures as well, 10, tying him with Diakite for the team's lead. You know, Foster coming into the game had been ice cold his last 2 games. Just 3 points on 1 of 8 shooting, and he's too good of a shooter. You knew something had to give, and he's now nailed a couple of big 3-point daggers when the Highlanders were beginning to believe they were back in the game.
NJIT now picking up some half-court trap.
Elevating Johnson, able to save it. Foster now the other corner, gets this one to go! And Marco Foster, little polo, 1 corner here, 1 corner there, and 6 quick points to lead back to 20. Gray trying to answer, gets tripped up by Chiqueno.
That'll be Chiqueno's 2nd foul, and NJIT will set up the baseline out of bounds play. So Gray take the ball, and Chiquendo a little too much body. NJIT's been able to score a couple times off of baseline out of bounds play, off a set, shuffle cuts after they get the ball in. And
Gray again from downtown, short. Guadarrama the rebound. Gray now 2 of 4 from downtown. Guadarrama is not going to get that to go. Took a high bounce, nearly went in off the first contact with the rim. And Nick Johnson a little too close into Miles Coleman, picks up the foul. That'll be his 2nd.
If NJIT is going to get back into this game, they're going to need Miles Coleman to get going. And Coach Herrian discussing the defense with his bench, and Coach Kennedy working the play here, still a little frustrated on his end, and he just got another technical foul.
Technical foul has been called on Highlanders head coach, his second technical of the night. On the line.
So Guadarrama, who nailed the 2 free throws earlier, has another crack at the line here, sitting at 10 points. Balanced attack. Chiqueno has 11, Martinez, Guadarrama with 10, Johnson 8, Foster now up to 9 after his back-to-back three-point field goals.
And with that second technical foul, Coach Kennedy will have to leave the game, and Rafferty will take over. Jeff's been an assistant coach here for a long time, all with Coach Kennedy, all 6 years. For the Highlanders to get back into this game, as I mentioned, they're going to need Coleman to step it up. He's got the ability to get explosive. They started off the second half with a quick run, and then it's been all UNH since.
And remember, too, right towards the end of the first half, the Highlanders had that 8-0 run, or 7-0 run, and then back-to-back three-point field goals for the Wildcats. Put that lead right back up to 6 before the break. Highlanders, the 7-0 start here, and then 8 in a row for the Wildcats as Coleman falling down is called for the offensive foul, and this is going to get Coleman upset. And Jeff Rafferty is like beside himself as he's filled in for Brian Kennedy.
You can't see it there. The official saying Coleman kicked his feet out, trying to draw the contact.
But was there any contact? So if there's no contact, I'd like to see the rebound again.
Well, they're going to score the 3. They're going to say Coleman created the contact, put the kick out, stick him. Another look at it here.
And then a 3 the other way. Marco Foster is on fuego tonight, shooting from downtown. 4 of 7 for all 12 of his points, and it's gotten out of hand quick, 25-point game just like that. They did not count the Coleman 3. If you're wondering, now very frustrated, goes in, misses. And you see Coleman swatted at the ball, and he immediately goes back to Guadarrama for a high five. Guadarrama was accepting to that gesture, which is good. I didn't know if he actually touched him. Yeah, he got his eye, okay. He didn't touch his arm. I was looking at the ball and the wrist. It looks like it got him up top. Maybe on the forehead.
That'll actually be Coleman's 3rd foul. He was trying to swipe at the ball. All this.
And Foster again, this time misfires. He has been so good here. Coleman adjusting, gets it to go somewhere. That's what he does. He makes these shots that no one else knows how in the world to make.
He's got great body control as he heads to the basket. For the Highlanders to be able to get out and transition and score. They actually did not count that 3 by Coleman on the kick out.
Guadarrama, a finish in the paint. He's got 14 points. Yeah, I don't know if we got another look at that Coleman 3. I know he did kick out to kind of initiate contact, but Dave, I don't know if there was contact. That would have been my question. Here's Gray from the corner. Got it. Makai Gray has had the hot hand for the Highlanders up to a team-high 13 points. They need a whole lot more, and they need to get stops on a New Hampshire team that's shooting 60% from the floor and 46% from downtown.
Well, you mentioned it, Matt. Highlanders starting to get going again offensively. It's a little up and down, and that's helped. 50-50 call. You know, it was in the melee of just everything going on. Coach Kennedy was unhappy.
That's kind of what I'm thinking after 2 technical fouls on the same head coach. You know, was it an anticipation call? Because it did look ugly. You could see what he was trying to do, but he didn't really accomplish it. He was trying to get contact. Either way, it's been New Hampshire's shooting and ball distribution, not to mention their defense, which has been on display tonight. And really, we have been talking about it, but we should be talking about because they are playing a very nice game in so many facets tonight. They're +5 in turnovers, or +3 in rebounding. They're shooting the ball at a very high rate.
Yeah, I would agree with that, Matt. I think UNH deserves a lot of credit for their game plan tonight, how they've come out and played. And they've had games this year where they can beat a number 2 team in the America East. You know, obviously Vermont is by far the number 1 seed, number 1 team to be beat this year. But UNH has had games where they look dominant like this, where they're on both ends playing great offensively, good ball movement, being able to score, shooting at a high clip, very efficient.
Oh my! Foster, Australian for triple. He's got 5 of them now. Holy Toledo, Marco Foster, a sophomore, has found his touch here in Newark, New Jersey. Now, he did have a 24-point performance earlier this year against Keene State. Coleman uses the window beautifully. Great angle for the big man Coleman.
Well, we talked about him. He's a tough guard. You think about that 3 would count. He would have been at double digits by now, trying to help the Highlanders make a comeback.
Look at the cut, and 1, and another assisted make, and this one a chance for an old-fashioned 3-point play.
Oh, just great ball movement. Just another assist for UNH. Just a catch, left-handed finish by Nick Johnson.
And we could talk all day long about Foster's touch from downtown tonight, but he was very patient, threw a perfect pass, and set up his teammate for, say, an easy 2. It's never easy in the land of the Giants, but certainly set up a chance at a 3-point play with that assist. Nankin out, DeGraff in, Demir Faison is in for the first time tonight. He relieves Mackay Gray, and keep in mind the Highlanders have not seen the return of Dylan O'Hearn. Still being looked at on the sidelines. Something with the foot or ankle, lower part of the leg. And if there's anything of a significant nature there, by significant nature I mean keeping him out for multiple games, Highlanders are really going to be in a world of trouble in terms of ball distribution in that point guard role. Another nice feed and another nice finish for Johnson. And the Wildcats are doing everything so beautifully. Johnson's up to 13 points. The assist was again by Foster.
Coleman technically running the point now for NJIT. Injury bug is really hurting the Highlanders.
McGrath on senior night has his first field goal in quite some time. Nice move, patient there. Native of Rotterdam, Netherlands. Only 8 points over his last 9 games combined. Has been used sparingly by Diakite, Coleman, and Faw. Stepped up nicely when Faw was out. In fact, had a very nice game with 8 points at Lafayette College. That shot no good by Nick Johnson. Faison. His career at NJIT has been really a rough one with so many injuries. A redshirt sophomore, hasn't played a whole lot. Diakite against Guadarrama lost the handle. And who else but Marco Foster to be there to pick up the loose ball. He's everywhere. $14 assists tonight for the Wildcats, just 4 for NJIT. Johnson, yes. He's got 15, tied with Foster for the game's high.
Johnson just threw up an air ball for in the corner, and then UNH runs their offense, gets the ball moving around, and Coleman now.
Coleman's doing Coleman things.
Yeah, into double digits, able to get to the basket.
Not only is Nick Johnson an efficient 7 of 10 for 15 points, he's got 3 rebounds, 2 assists, 3 steals, 3 blocks.
A little bit of everything.
Yeah, potpourri night. Hope you had him in America East FanDuel. Now it's Chiqueño, no good. Suleiman Diakite up for the rebound. That puts him at 9, 1 board away from a double-double. He has 10 points to go along with those rebounds. Ball from downtown's going to be short. There's rebound number 10. So double-double, back-to-back games for the senior Diakite. Shot clock down to 5. And Diakite guarded well by Guadarrama, unable to connect. And we're going to see Jason Murphy for the first time for the Highlanders. He'll check in after the next stoppage in play. He hasn't played in the last couple of games. Every once in a while, shown some life. And here is Faison, the strip, and the two-handed slam. Demir Faison up high, down hard.
Well, Faison making the most of his time in the game. Makes a nice effort play. Kind of caught Chiquendo sleeping a little bit. Picks his pocket.
So Chiquendo goes back, and Suleiman Diakite starting Friday, 4 o'clock. You can watch it online as they play Wake Forest, a team known as Rake Forest, the way they can hit the ball. And that'll be a fun series for the Highlanders, another challenge for a program under Robbie McClellan that has accelerated in the ranks very quickly. Highlanders, another turnover, Faison involved. Here's Makai Gray, lost the handle, and it goes right back to Chiqueno. And it's a microcosm of this game.
Yeah, that's a good point, Matt. I was sort of thinking the same thing. You get a turnover, steal, and Gray runs out and kind of loses the ball. They don't get a shot attempt.
Quan Murphy, a senior who has transferred from Houston Baptist, is in now. Marco Short. Marco Foster has dominated from downtown. Thought about it again, instead hands off to Jaden Martinez. Matos stripped by Murphy. Saves it, Martinez, no. And Jason Murphy, the aforementioned redshirt sophomore getting his first run tonight, has the rebound. Coleman, no. Gets it back with help from Murphy, keeping it alive, and now Coleman to the free throw line.
Coleman has the size and strength to get to the basket really at ease. Just a little off tonight. Missed a couple of those that he normally finishes. Calls the contact there.
Well, think about this too. If there's not already enough on his shoulders, the way the Highlanders have been depleted with some of their players, now Illinois Hearn has been out for most of the second half. But, you know, no excuses, right? Because you look at New Hampshire, they lost a couple of guys who played just 11 games each, who combined for better than 10 points per game. Their rotation has essentially been trimmed to 9. And they've only played 8 until they got a big lead. They'd only played 7. So they're dealing with shallow numbers. And don't forget that Guadarrama, one of the better players in the America East, missed some time with an ankle injury. So that's been going around. We've seen that a lot. We've seen that with Hartford. We've seen that with Stony Brook. A lot of shallow depth right now for whatever the reason. Murphy thought about it. Instead, it will be Martinez. Bullseye. Jaden Martinez. He's now got 13 points tonight after his third triple of the game.
Yeah, Murphy, as you said, thought about it, but he bobbled the ball, but that also gave him a hesitation time. And Floyd Gray has been a bright spot for the Highlanders from beyond the arc there. That's his third triple of the evening. His fourth, I'm sorry. He now leads all scorers with 16.
And that's also a career high. Not no good. His previous career high was 13 last year against Binghamton. And he's had 12 a couple of times this season against Hartford as well as at St. John's. Gray hounding Martinez. And will take it over Murphy, no good. Coleman up for the rebound. He's got 4 to go along with his 12 points tonight. Gray will try it again. Short. Guadarrama is another guy that does so many things well. We've talked about his scoring and rebounding, that being his 6th board. He has 2 more assists tonight. And he has had an 18-game assist streak, now 19. The only game he didn't have an assist in this year was the 3rd game of the year at Providence College. That's a forward who scores and rebounds. Good all-around player. That's why he was a 2nd teamer last year in a preseason all-conference selection for the 2nd consecutive year this year. Foster still fighting despite his fabulous night tonight, and it will stay with the Wildcats. Look, you know, there's Vermont, but I think New Hampshire is right up there in the top 2 or 3 teams. They overcame some early adversity. And they play like they did tonight down the stretch, they will be a force to be reckoned with.
Yeah, they're playing like one of the top teams in the American East, definitely this evening. They've had some inconsistency, as a lot of the teams in the American East has, which is going to make the conference tournament so interesting, as they're unable to get a shot off of a shot clock violation, and it'll end up being their 9th turnover now.
Well, you know the beauty of college basketball, right? I mean, anybody can really beat anybody. Any night, you shoot the ball, anybody's capable nowadays of getting one effort where everybody shoots the lights out. But in seeing Vermont twice, in seeing the depth at which they can score and the length that they have, it's just going to be a very tough team to beat. In fact, they're still a top 75 RPI team. Last I looked, they were maybe 67, which, considering the American East doesn't have as many power points as some of the power conferences, that just goes to show that those in the know realize that Vermont, no matter where they play, is a legitimate, top-notch basketball team this season, and have been for so many years.
Yeah, well, if Vermont ends up going on and winning the American East tournament, they're going to get a very good seed. If any of the other teams happen to knock off Vermont, and there's a bunch of them that can do that, this team right here, if they play like they did tonight, is definitely capable. Then you're looking at the American East teams. They could be maybe a 16 seed or even in the opening round game. Take another look at the drive and foul.
Johnson's athletic, isn't he? He really hangs in the air. We have seen that a couple of times tonight. It's not a surprise. He was an all-rookie performer and the Rookie of the Year last year, averaged 8 points as a freshman. That's crept up a little bit. He's had 11 double-figure games this season, 12 tonight, as that is his 16th point, tying him with Makai Gray for the game high. But it's the all-around ability to affect the game for Johnson. His defense, his hands, his quick step, and he's not a big guy. 6'4", he's not short either, but at 6'4", he plays a lot bigger than that because of his ability to get up and hang in the air. Now the walk-on, Chauncey Sterling, will enter a game for the 5th time this season, wearing number 0 for the Highlanders. They've got 2 sophomore, 2 freshmen, and then Sterling, who's a junior, after his Concordia program that he played for closed this summer, came here as a walk-on. Al Nankin hit a 3 earlier. This one's going to be short, and off of Murphy, battling for a rebound.
Substitution patch number 4, John.
Coach Hurrian going to the bench as well. Guadarrama is going to be done for the evening. Nick Johnson, you mentioned, leading all scorers now with 17. He's done for the evening.
I got a good little number for you here. The 77 points put up by the Wildcats tonight, it's the highest total by anybody in the American East outside of Vermont. Vermont has scored twice in the 90s, 90 and 91 against the Highlanders. So they got 90 and 83 as Martinez connects again. So they've been able to score against the Highlanders, but nobody else was able to get to 77 and now make that 80 after that 3 by Martinez, who's got 16 points, right around his season's average.
Well, UNH had a great shooting night. 57% for the first half, 54 in the second half. They just really consistently all evening have been able to move the ball. They have 17 assists on their 29 made field goals. That's a recipe for success.
But it's the way they're playing, right? We've talked about moving without the basketball, the vision, the patience. Murphy off the mark. I don't have a 4 on my roster. Didn't get any game notes till right before the game, so I'll tell you who it is. I do have it, yeah. That's John Wheelman. I take that back. I do have him. Sophomore out of Lebanon, New Hampshire. Has appeared in now 8 games this season. Still looking to score his first points in a Division I game. Has scored some points in some lower division games as Martinez off the ball.
Well, Matt, for Bill Hurrian and UNH, they're going to walk away with a victory here. It'll be a half a game out in the standings of second place, albeit there's 4 teams tied for second. So he's going to be looking to get their last 2 games. If they can get them, move up and get a home game in the American East Tournament. For NJIT and Coach Kennedy, it's time to regroup They still have 2 big games left. If they can get those games, I want to try to avoid the 8th place game and avoid Vermont in the first round of the tournament. You know, if you can just finish 7th or 6th, any of those numbers, you know, that bunch, you know, anything can go. You just need to get hot.
Yeah, and the one thing the Highlanders have done is compete on the road. So although you'd say, well, you know, now they finish up with 2 on the road, who knows if that's really a bad thing. I mean, they're 5-7 on the road. They'd be 6-8 at home. So either way, it's kind of a draw there. They lost here to Hartford, beat Stony Brook here, and they will play those 2 teams next. Hartford Saturday at 2, Stony Brook on the 1st at 7 p.m. And those will be the final 2 regular season games, again, both coming on the road. Meanwhile, for New Hampshire, they will have Binghamton Saturday at home at noon before finishing up Tuesday at UMass Lowell at 7 p.m. Willman, former high school quarterbacking the offense there for a moment. Another good look, out to Willman for 3, bullseye! And there are his first 3 points in a Division I game, and points 7, 8, 9 of the season. Big-time quarterback in high school. Even played a championship game at Wildcat Stadium while at Lebanon High. And that was a bomb right there. Faison attacking, draws up contact. He had a dunk earlier for his only 2 points, and he'll have a chance from the stripe. And Faison, 3 of 5 from the line this season. Good to see him just playing. I mean, injuries to his knees have been kind of a factor for a once explosive Hazleton area product by way of Philadelphia, where he's from. I mean, he's got 3 points. He had 7 rebounds in a game earlier this season, a season's high. And he did log a season-high 25 minutes in that game they had earlier this year at Northwestern. And he's got 5 points. Oh, strike got 4 points.
And with the shot clock turned off, Coach Harrion is...
For Sterling, who's guarding the ball, he doesn't get too many chances to play. He wanted to make a move, but realized that if UNH was throwing up the white flag, time to back off and regroup, because they'll have a couple of days to get ready for a trip up to Hartford and a chance at revenge against the Hawks, who